Hello there my RPG lovers and welcome to another video. Greedfall is an upcoming role-playing game with a unique 18th century inspired setting. There is a big focus on diplomacy in this game because you are going to meet a bunch of different factions on the island, and how you choose to interact with them will have a big impact on the story. Branching dialogue options, classless combat system and multiple ways of solving quests are a couple of things that you can expect to find in this RPG, which leads me to discuss about role-playing elements in Greedfall and how all of this works. Before we continue, consider subscribing for more RPG content because that's what I'm all about. One of the bigger problems that plagued a lot of RPGs is the illusion of choice, but this almost certainly won't be the problem in Greedfall. The studio behind this game used every opportunity to promote Greedfall as a strong role-playing game in which you can affect the whole island with your decisions, either by diplomacy or the combat. When you start the game, your first task is to choose the gender and appearance of your character in a decent character creation menu. The talent tree, skills and attributes will naturally serve you to progress your character, but all of those features will give you multiple ways of solving quests as well. I don't know for sure, but since this icon is definitely for talent, skills and attributes, I'm guessing we'll be able to invest at least a couple of points in here when we make our character. We can expect things like skill checks in dialogues, sneaking and stealing, or being a savage and solving quests like that if you wish. I've mentioned multiple times in my videos that solving quests in different ways is one of the most important things to implement in an RPG. This gives the game more replay value for sure, but more importantly it gives the player more freedom and it makes the world more believable. Not to mention that having only one way of doing quests makes the games more linear. We only have one example of how the quests work from one VG article, but it's more than enough to tell us what we can expect from the quests in general, assuming that most of the quests are like this. In short, your cousin was arrested because he was drunk and you have to free him from the prison. You can use charisma and convince the guards to let him go, try to steal a key and break him out, blow a hole in the wall, or just bribe the guards. It goes without saying that you won't be able to use all of these options, it will depend on your skills, attributes and talents. Interesting enough, they also mentioned how day and night cycle can influence which of these options is likely to be successful. If at least 50% of the quests are like this, it's going to be an amazing experience. I also once heard that there are no fetch quests in this game, like at all, so you won't be an errand boy. When it comes to dialogue, we know it's going to be a branching system with skill checks, like I said. To give us a feel of how important some of our decisions are, they said that we can wipe a whole faction of the island. Not really clear how exactly, and if this applies to all other factions, or just one in particular. It will be interesting to see how we interact with all of these factions, and from one quick look of the newest video that basically came out while I was recording this, we can see 6 different factions and the relationship level. Not sure if there are more factions, but this is probably the exact number. Most of the factions are suspicious toward the character, other than Bridge Alliance and the natives. What's interesting is the fact that we start the game with congregation of merchants because our cousin, probably that drunk from the story about the prison, is the governor of New Serene, the first city we'll visit on Terra Fadi. So it's interesting that we can pretty much ruin our reputation with them as well, and I'm guessing this is because he decided to work with the natives. This whole thing deserves a separate video, as well as the companions and some other stuff from this new video, so you can expect to see that video in a few hours after this video gets uploaded. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. To unlock new quests and areas on the island, you will need influence that you can get by doing available quests and probably by killing monsters and exploring. When it comes to RPG mechanics, we have the classless combat system, interesting crafting mechanics and bunch of different gear. Greedfall is certainly not trying to reinvent the wheel, but it has everything that you would expect to find in a proper RPG, unlike some games that just like to play pretend. The combat system looks better and better with every new video, and they are doing a good job of showing the variety of different weapons in action. We have melee, ranged and magic. But if you want to focus on the magic spells, I think you have to be good with the natives, like this character here, because only the natives can teach you magic. You have to have Siora in your group, because the natives won't even understand you without her. And yep, they talk on a different language that spiders created. But the second path in the talent tree is called Magic Ring, I think, and it leads me to believe that even if you don't learn the spells from the natives, there is some alternative way. It's just pure speculation, maybe this is also connected with the native somehow, but this kinda makes sense in my head. Or maybe the magic ring is connected with the fury system somehow. Besides magic, you'll have the option to use one-handed and two-handed weapons and ranged weapons with traps. Your every attack will build up this fury bar, which allows you to cast a strong spell once it's full. Enemy variety seems decent from all the trailers we could see, mini bosses and bosses check, romance options for you sick bastards check, etc, etc. When I'm playing an RPG, I just want options in everything and a strong replay value. At first I was worried because the replay value is usually low in games with strong storytelling, but the number of factions in Greedfall and different ways of interacting with them will certainly make the game more replayable. Here's one new interesting quote from the new video. Two players that haven't allied with the same groups or characters at one time or another, or that didn't make the same choices in certain quests, will find that they are not experiencing the same story. Don't forget to press the thumbs up button and subscribe for more RPG content. I do in-depth guides, news and reviews. I plan to cover Greedfall in depth, so stay around if you want to see more. Special thanks to my Patreons, and if you as well want to become one, all the links are in the description. See ya in the next one.